again, talking about this week's esports news, and we definitely have enough stuff to talk about today. There is quite a bit of stuff that has happened in the past week and a half. I'm excited to see what your thoughts on all of this stuff are, but obviously we can always just start off with the brackets.
Yep, give it to me.
So we'll talk about Smash, obviously. So Smash, we can start off with the most recent, the JTS Friday Xanadu grind.
Okay.
First off, we got Dexter winning the whole thing. That was really good for him. Dex having another. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Dex is such a strong player. Don't even have to talk about it. We've talked about him at length right now. ZD getting second, very closely there. He actually also got second on Tuesday, but we'll get into that as well.
Okay.
In third place, we have Seagull Joe making it out. And fourth place, we know who it is. It's Joe J. Joe J making his return. Love to see it. He's not just doing the old flex time.
He's alive.
He is alive. He's been doing a lot of flex. He's on that school grind too. You know what I mean?
Lame.
And you'll be excited to see this. Tying for fifth, we have Jalem and Sova. Sova, your link, bro, making a big showing to come out with fifth.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Shout out Sova.
Right.
I feel so good.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously Sova, a rare showing from a Link player, right? It's like we finally get to see some good VODs from a Link player.
Yeah, for sure. And he's also a Sova, he's from Sova, so making that bit of a trek, because that is a hike.
Oh yeah, it is definitely a hike. Yeah. I'm sure that he was like making it out. I don't think he went to the cave or anything. So I mean he didn't go to the cave. So it's kind of interesting that he went to Xanadu on Friday. That was kind of nice. I mean, definitely a bit of a longer drive for him.
I'm also interested kind of to see because he comes to the cave, but he doesn't place as well. But I also think the cave
is crazy.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see is Xanadu is the bracket easier? Is he playing? Did he play out of his mind? I'm interested.
It's very tough to say. I don't know exactly how many people were in that bracket that night. But tying for 7th place that night, we have Pink Fresh and Frostbite. And Frostbite, another Sova Suiva, whatever you want to call him, man's been putting in the grind. And I think as far as I know according to his Twitter, he's definitely trying to hop off that Roy run.
Yeah, so he actually tweeted earlier this week that he was going on this VA tour.
Right.
So he actually came to the cave, and I had to play him in bracket, so that was fun. But he's actually trying to main
Chrom.
Wrong.
Oh.
Mario.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
fine. I've played as Mario before, way in the early stages.
Bro, his movement is impeccable.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
That's what Roy teaches you.
I was about to say, he brought Roy movement to Mario, and I was playing him, and I was like, what am I doing? What is he doing? Oh, I'm dead. All right.
Right, because it's not super quick, back and forth stuff. It's not I'm just dash dancing a lot. Literally, he'll run up, stop, and he'll run back. He'll run up and stop, and then shield or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's very crazy.
And he's like, this time I'm in the air. Did you get caught with falling up air?
That's right. And then I'm sure he laddered you a little bit. That's pretty crazy. But I mean, I know he at least also wants to play a little bit of Chrom, just because he thinks Chrom is more consistent than Roy, or at least he says Chrom is better. I tend to disagree, but that's just me.
I completely agree. I think the fact that the sword is solid all the way through. Yeah. Well, we've seen with Lucina and Marth, the consistency of the tipper versus the base of the sword.
Yeah.
Why even go for that? Especially, I don't know. The movement in this game is kind of weirder than before, so it's a lot harder to get consistently base and or tip of sword. So
no, that's fair. I mean, it's definitely, if you're talking about consistency, sure, but I think Roy has high highs and low lows, so it works either way. He's obviously not as I think there's more characters that can gimp Chrom's recovery than that can gimp Roy's.
That's fair.
That's just a purely situational thing. Anyway, but Pink Fresh, obviously the ZSS of MD, very good stuff from him to tie with 7th with Frostbite.
Oh wow, I've actually never heard of him.
Pink Fresh?
Yeah.
Oh, Pink Fresh is he's definitely a top 8 contender. He's been consistent. I would say consistent enough. If he's not top 8, he's just outside.
Okay.
So it's we might not see his name in the top 8, but he's there somewhere.
Fair. So we've got about four ZSSs.
Yeah.
2 or 3 notable ones.
True.
Jeb, Pink Fresh, Strix, around there.
Yeah, and then on Tuesday, Jalem ended up winning the whole thing. So instead of getting 5th as he got on Friday, he got 2nd or first. He won first.
Why do I know that name?
Jalem. So he plays. He was a Snake main, but now he has Joker too.
Huh.
Yeah. He also used to be known as Patherin. He changed his tag. I don't know if you know him as Patherin.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, Jalem, he's definitely super good. I mean, I've had a couple, good sets. I played a money match with him at
SmashCon?
SmashCon, yeah.
Hmm.
SmashCon. Very good player. You know, it's like this was when he was just picking up the Joker, and I needed Joker experience. So I money matched him. It was like, you know, it was good. He was a very strong player. ZD, like I said, got second. ZD having, you know, a good showing, but just not enough to get that first. Yeah, it's tough. But he's still, you know, super strong. And then we have Spyro. Spyro, who's I've seen him before. I don't remember who he plays. I think maybe Bowser, something like that. He's a bit of a lesser known player, but I mean, he's still like a very, very high mid tier player in Maryland. You see him every once in a while. Anyway,
Hence today.
right, exactly. On Tuesday, he made a very good run for him. Pink Fresh ended up getting fourth that day. So Pink Fresh, you know, maybe sort of like.
ZSS kind of schmoovin'.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, obviously CSS, you know. And then in fifth place, tying is Seagull Joe. A little bit of a lower ranking for our boy Seagull there. And he's tied with Dunobro. And Dunobro plays Mario.
He must have been being nice to the people. Didn't want to bust out all of his best characters.
They're all nice. They're all nice.
They're all number one.
They're all nice. And in seventh place, finally, we get to see some Logic again. Logic, the commentator himself, making a good run in his own play. Obviously, I think he's still on that Olimar, maybe a little bit of Mewtwo. I don't know if he's really playing a lot of Mewtwo right now.
I actually talked to him a little bit this week. So
Yeah?
shout out to the man's Logic.
Yeah, what do you say?
Talk to me about some commentator stuff, which I can
Cool.
give you some little insight on later.
Yeah, for sure. And you reached out to him, or did he reach out to you?
Yeah, I reached out to him. I won't tell you when I reached out to him, but he finally responded.
Oh, okay, that's fine. No worries. I mean, he's a busy guy. He's definitely he has like a real job. He's like a real estate guy.
Yeah. Although I will give to him, I reached out to him on a platform that he doesn't normally use.
Oh,
so
okay.
he was like, just check me out on Twitter. I was like, okay. And then when I
Twitter's always
followed him on Twitter, he immediately responded.
there you
yeah,
go. Well, okay, that's nice.
That's
nice.
the tech.
That's funny. It is the tech, yeah, for right. And then tying with Logic in seventh place is Dingus Joe. So Dingus Joe finally making his big return. You know. The Game & Watch. I know the Game & Watch, but it's like, you know, you have a couple Game & Watch players in Maryland. You got this guy. You got Dingus Joe.
You just see Upbeat at a shield enough, and you just get nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, just sure a little bit of PTSD there, but
I mean, I play Link, so I guess it's the same thing, really.
no, it's not.
You
No,
right?
no, it's not. No, your up B is not nearly as oppressive as
My up B is not frame one.
Yeah, it is not, and it is not able to be acted out of, and all that good
I do
stuff.
fatigue, and if you shield it once, I am dead.
Yeah,
you
that's
shield
true.
his, you just back to neutral.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, and he just keeps his combos going with the up B. It's just like, wow, you usually use it as like a finisher or something like that.
This is true.
But yeah, so those were the Xanadu brackets. Obviously the cave was a little bit smaller, so we're not going to go like super hard into it. But the big thing is Matador won over Kree. Kree finally making a big return as well.
Fast Kree's been playing hella nice lately.
He has. It's true. I mean, Kree's been, you know, coming every once in a while, not like super often and everything. He knows when there's like a small bracket and we can get out of a little bit earlier. Likes to come, make a little bit of money, and leave. Yeah. And Matador was there, you know, not gonna let him reset that bracket though.
Nah,
I thought it might have happened, but
he was getting close. I really don't like Villager. Like, I have no qualms with Villager. I don't mind playing against Villager, but the way that he plays him is very interesting and like fun to watch.
Yeah.
So instead of just he doesn't. Everything feels calculated. Like nothing really feels like spam per se. It more just feels like, yeah, I knew you were gonna do that.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? That wasn't.
It's true. I mean, he's not. He's very open. He's like he's not. You know, he feels no shame for the way he plays. Like he's definitely like a very good player. He knows how to like read jumps and everything. He knows how to use his slingshot very well, throwing out the Lloyd. Yes. Really, really, really good projectile play. Like we kind of take it for granted because that's almost all of Villager's kit.
Yeah.
Right. It's like almost all of the kit is purely based around projectiles. But
we see it a lot, but we don't see it like that.
Right. You kind of take it for granted. You're like, wow, he's like his neutral game and even his combos, like he still gets those wacky combos. It's like, wow, he's still like going slingshot into like Lloyd explosion. It's like, I don't know, the way he like links all of his ranged hits together is really, really interesting. It's like something you don't see from a lot of players.
And then that surprise axe.
Yeah, exactly. Like he waits until the last second, then here
comes
the tree.
That's probably the best.
Yeah. The big axe without even having to use the tree. Like he uses the tree so sparingly that it's just like, I mean, he just puts it up and, you know, when it happens, it happens. When you get hit with it, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oof. That's
I
an
think
oof.
he got. I think that entire night, all the times he planted a tree, he only got one kill off of it. But it was to win the set. So
Right. It's a big deal though. It's like
yeah,
he's chopping those trees. He's throwing it out for the edge guards every once in a while. But it's like, especially on triplats, he sets it up right in the middle. Very good space play.
very good.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing it. And Matador, Matador is playing the Wario, as best as he can. It's like very good optimal stuff from him. Couple missed waft combos, but that's okay. He got
the Matador special.
he got enough. He got enough wafts to win
Yeah.
the whole thing. So it didn't really matter. It was like, like I said, a smaller bracket, about 50, 55 people, something like that.
Yeah.
Like
around
53, 55, something like that. It was
Yeah.
it was kind of small.
Yeah.
It was the weather and the Halloween thing.
Yeah,
was
the weather
kinda
was
like
pretty trash. That's right. We had a thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning.
tornado warning. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And we were worried. We were so worried that it was gonna like blow
Cut out.
everything out.
Yeah.
So,
Blow
yeah.
up the stream, PC, all that fun stuff.
Pretty crazy stuff. But I mean, good on Matador for winning the cave. I mean, obviously he's
Don't forget about our third.
still in the grand. Oh yeah. Tell us.
Jeb.
Jeb.
Jeb with 2 Bs.
Jeb with
That's
2 Bs.
ESS. He actually played Fast Cree and put him into losers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fast Cree
Got the run back.
crawled out and was like, not this time, dog.
Yeah. It was tough, in losers finals. Kree had to really read like the mobility that ZSS has. Like we were talking about ZSS earlier. Like obviously a super strong character, despite what Mars says.
I really don't think she's that good. I think the people have to be
Okay.
good with her.
Yeah.
Because her maneuverability, yes, her down B is fantastic. I will not take that away from
Yeah.
you. That move,
Very
in and
good
of itself-
disadvantage state.
Yes, that move in and of itself is pretty solid, but it doesn't make the character. The character is still light. The character, I almost feel like half of her combos aren't even real. It depends on
Yeah.
like the percentages. The percentages change drastically,
Right.
like whether the combo links true or not.
Right.
And then they just have to adapt to a little bit of everything, and they have to be able to read. Reading's not easy.
No, you're right. Exactly. It really is
Reading
about.
movement isn't easy.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not easy because it's like you're guessing. You are guessing a lot, and you
Exactly.
just have to guess right. So
And if you guess wrong, you die. Especially with ZSS, you have a good enough disadvantage state to make
Right.
it back to stage, but from underneath you're probably not coming back, especially
Yeah.
without the flip.
I mean, you're not wrong. I would definitely say that like ZSS is like you said, like very read heavy. You have to make sure you're getting those roll, like whenever they roll in or whatever, roll out. It's like you know what to do. There's options for both, but remember ZSS also has a lot of end lag on some of her moves, like side B and stuff. So it's like very punishable moves. You can't go for the
Yeah,
hardest
exactly.
of the hardest of punishes yourself because you are vulnerable if you miss.
Exactly.
So yeah, it is true. It does rely very much on your fundamentals, which is why Jeb has been grinding it out so much. It's much easier and much more fun for him than the Palutena. I mean why wouldn't it be?
He is now back to the ZSS. Before we saw that week where he was thinking about Wario,
He was thinking about it.
some
It's like a
Crom.
secondary, right? It's just as a secondary. I think
No,
he just
I thought he was thinking about maining him.
I
Or
don't-
he at least played in bracket consistently with that character.
Right.
exclusively.
It's true. And sometimes people do that. It's like you take one week of the cave and you're just like, okay, look, like if it's early in the season, you're like, all right, I got a little bit of time to play around.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's the best time to do it because you know that the season just ended. You're ready to get it started. You know that there's going to be other weeks that you can have a good showing at, like obviously this one for
Mhm.
Jeb. It's really important for you to be able to test those matchups and not just be like, oh, okay, I'm farther along in bracket, I have to switch back to my main. Like, no, it's like if you really want to get a secondary, like you should probably be practicing a little bit more than that, especially
Yeah.
against the higher level players that you will be placing in the upper echelons of bracket.
Exactly. I got a fantastic piece of advice that was given to me
Okay.
in bracket that I was playing. I had to go up against File, who's a fantastic Bowser player. We all are well known for his
For
Bowser
sure.
play. Me being the just regular Joe Schmo that comes in.
The
very-
scrubby scrub.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very worried about me playing him in bracket. But game one, the advice that I got prior to playing against him was play him like he doesn't matter.
Play Bowser like it doesn't matter.
No, play File like he doesn't matter.
Oh,
So
okay.
play File like he's some Joe Schmo.
Okay.
He just came in. He
Okay.
just picked up Smash. And
Okay.
give him a lot less respect than he has earned.
Who gave you that advice?
Waddy.
Wally.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So for game one, still had the nerves, messed up a little bit, got killed real early. And then game two, it's just like, well, I'm already down. That's when I was still working on Pikachu more considerably than I am now. That's when I was still working on Pikachu, and I was like, you know what? Waddy said just go for some crazy stuff, Managed to get him down to last stock.
Nice.
got him up to 70%.
Okay.
He killed me. And then after he killed me, he goes, whew. I was like, did I just make you sigh? And he was like, yeah, that Pikachu kind of nice. And I was like, And Waddy
Good for
was
you,
like,
bro.
see, told you.
Good for you.
So that is just a piece of advice. Just play everyone the same. Play them like you are top tier, and they are not. Like
Fair enough.
Unless they show you something different in gameplay that you have, they force you to respect. Just play them like they're your little cousin. You're gonna dog on your little cousin.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that totally makes sense. You know, I would definitely agree with that. You know, that's always good because so much of Smash is like mental game.
Exactly.
And
the moment that you beat yourself before you even play, it's over.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to give yourself like an out, right? Don't do the work for him. It's like you gotta make sure you can match him wherever you can and not let it play on your mind too much. That makes sense. Absolutely. Well, good stuff. I mean, I like hearing about all those improvements and good advice as well. So
yeah.
Good stuff. So that's the Smash stuff for this week. Remember that the Arcadian is on November 30th. That is going to be the big time. Are you going?
What is it?
So the Arcadian, if you don't know what an Arcadian is, it's a time for everyone who's never been ranked on a PR to be able to show their stuff, right? It's like PR players, if you have been on PR now or in the past, you are ineligible to enter singles. You can do Pro-Am doubles, but you cannot enter singles. So it's really interesting. So everyone who's going to be there doing the singles grind has is what you would call a non-ranked player, a lower tier player. So it's really interesting. So
where is it?
What?
Where is it?
It's at Xanadu. It's gonna be Xanadu on November 30th. It's a time. Obviously, they do, like I said, they do Pro-Am doubles. So what they'll do is they'll do a PR player matching with someone who's eligible to be in singles, right? So it's like you get the Pro-Am, so you get one PR player, one non-PR player on a team, and it's always interesting to see. I mean, there's players like Matador who's like really good at doubles, who's really wanting to grind that because that can be really fun. You know, he's super good at dubs.
Yeah, I enjoyed dubs too. I feel like it puts the fun back into the game. Like I feel, don't get me wrong, playing competitively in singles is still fun, but there's a more serious tone to it. I feel like in doubles you can still have that like goofy undertone.
A little bit.
Wow, you got hit by that. Lol.
A little bit.
I mean that.
Yeah, a little bit. It's true. Just because there's more chaos going on, it's harder to pay attention and stuff.
So hard to keep.
But it's like that's how we think of doubles at the local level, right? It's like when you get to a more regional and a national level, doubles actually starts being much more serious.
Yeah, but I feel like the scene for it isn't as built up as
certainly not.
It could be, or as we would like to.
That's because a lot of people don't have like static partners.
This is true.
So it's like once you get a static partner, then you start really focusing on it. Like I've been doing a static dubs with Quote.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like he and I have been doing really, a lot better. Like ever since we've really gotten a lot of synergy, especially since I picked up Pikachu. And we can do the Joker Pikachu dubs. That's a really broken comp, like super good. Like it's really broken. Like the first time we did it, we were like 3 stocking people. We're like, oh my god, this is really broken. It was pretty bad.
Interesting.
And then we also do Pac-Man Banjo. And Pac-Man Banjo is actually really fun. It's kind of whack. I'm not even going to lie. Like, it's absolutely crazy because I just, like, throw whatever I want. I launch the Hydra, and he just side Bs. He's invincible. He doesn't have to worry about it. I'm just dodging the side B. I'm like, we're good. It's like as long as he's good at being able to pay attention to what I'm doing. And it's like we can split up effectively, and I can still play my game as Pac-Man and throw stuff out without having to worry about like messing with him.
Yeah, invincible side B definitely helps.
Yeah, invincible side B definitely helps, but it's also like Banjo's got a lot of jumps, can jump over everything that I throw. It's like it's a little bit more than that. It's like
solid recovery.
Yeah,
infinite recovery.
Exactly.
If you can manage it.
Exactly, for sure. And in doubles, it's like obviously like you got to be able to play off your partner as well. Like just be like protect them when they're off stage and everything. And it's like we've gotten a little bit more better communication, I guess I would say, between the two of us, so that we're able to follow up when we need to. Always good to debrief on that kind of stuff. I like it. I wish I had gotten to play doubles with him this past week, but I mean, like I said, the doubles at the cave is always interesting because you don't have a lot of people who are doing the consistent dubs partners.
Yes, but you still do have those high ranking. So like File,
Matador,
Waddy, Van, Waddy Van pairing together.
Dude, and Cold Weather Van was actually really scary too.
That sounds anybody with Van. I feel like the fact that
Van's a good doubles player too. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like anything Van doesn't have many shortcomings as a singles player. Like the fact that he plays Ganon and still is really
Good fundamentals. Right.
is difficult. But then the moment that you give him a teammate and you're like, all right, cool. Any problem that you have, I can now fix.
That's true.
It's huge.
That's true. And he sticks with the Ganon in doubles. So it's like, it's very impressive because, Ganon has a lot of space coverage. So it's like the stage feels so much smaller when you're on it, and Ganondorf is there as well. And there's like 2 other players. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
It's like, all right, so we're just playing on this half, and Ganon's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he just holds down the whole half of the stage. And like, okay, well, I'm going to 2v1 over here. He's like, nope, I'm coming after you. Oh, no, that's not good.
And then you get that flame choke, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, Van does well in doubles, out of region as well. Like, I've seen him do well at bigger tournaments and stuff. Like, I mean, he makes a good showing in doubles. So I'm always interested to see how he and Matador specifically do all that good stuff. I don't know who Matador is teaming with at the Arcadian doubles. He's always willing to try doubles with anyone.
He's down with everyone.
He's like, I'll team it. I'll carry you. I'll carry anyone. But he's like, he also doesn't.
I think he just really enjoys doubles in and of itself.
Oh yeah, I do too. I used to not like it, but I mean, the more I started doing it, like, you really start like learning so much more about the game. Like, it really elevates your understanding of the game.
I like playing with my buddies, but then they're like, "Oh, well, don't have on team attack. That's dumb." And I'm like,
Team attack is so important though. Yeah. Team attack is it's like the balancing factor.
Absolutely.
It's like, otherwise you could just have 2 Richters. Busted.
Hey, 2 magic bursts.
God, please. Please.
What do you do? What
Nothing.
do you do?
You die. Like, literally, they stand on one side of the stage, and then they just both magic burst. That's just okay. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. That would never happen. That would never happen. Although we do allow Pokemon Trainer with Joker doubles. Apparently, that was a thing. Still is a thing. Some people are doing it. Kind of broken.
Yeah, I won't speak on that.
That's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so that's Smash going on. Obviously, if you're coming out to the Arcadian, best of luck to you. Hopefully, you will be able to make a noise. I don't know who's gonna win it.
Last question.
Oh.
What day is the 30th? Is that like a Saturday or something?
Should be a Saturday.
Okay.
I think the Arcadian's usually on a Saturday. I think it's a Saturday.
All right, you said predictions. You want to give me like top 5? Give me top 5 who you think is gonna go.
Well, everyone who's eligible, I would say Frostbite is there.
Yeah, there's so many of these. Like, wait, I thought. Oh no, Frostbite's on the Sova PR, so that doesn't count.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. So there's gonna be. I feel like there's just gonna be a lot of sleepers. So there's a lot of people who just barely missed the PR. I think I was talking to File, and he was like, "Yeah, Frostbite just barely missed it." So Frostbite definitely a big contender.
Gotcha.
Jep's been on the PR. He's out.
Yeah. I mean, Aldrinus obviously not eligible anymore because he made the PR this season.
Yeah.
Just barely, right? But he made it.
Yeah. That means he just knocked off Frostbite.
Something like that.
Loosely.
Yeah. I mean, it was very close between the 2 as far as I know.
Yeah.
Very close stuff.
We've got Name, pretty solid Fox player.
Name has been doing pretty well. I saw the BMS this past, what was it, Friday? It must have been Friday or something like that. I mean, the GMU Weekly, they do really, he did well. Rags obviously won it, but Rags wins that all the time.
Is Rags on the PR?
Rags is on our PR, yes.
Okay, thank God.
Rags is on the MDVA PR for sure, but I mean, he doesn't go to the cave as much anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about because I know he hasn't been entering as much, so I don't know if he managed to duck the PR.
No. And even if he did, he was on the past PR, so he still wouldn't be eligible.
Okay.
So it's like obviously File can't do it because he was on the PR.
Yeah, for
one
sure.
of the early seasons.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, Name.
Yeah.
Frostbite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of maybe some MD people, right? Maybe.
Like who though?
Logic. Well, no, Logic was on the PR.
Yeah, I was about to say who that's not on the PR. Because like outside of people on the PR, you don't really hear much from MD. But
maybe Decorn.
Yep.
So Decorn went to Return to Yoshi's Island and got 25th at a C tier, or was it a B tier? Something like that. Very good showing from Decorn this past weekend. You
know who? Primid, little homie.
Oh, okay. I can see that. So he makes it out for sure.
Yeah. I was talking to someone. I think it was probably like Matador File, something like that, talking about Primid's consistency. So Primid does exceptionally well apparently at the
major tournaments.
Yeah.
You're right. He has a big breakout showing out of region, especially against people who are not in our region.
Exactly.
I think that a lot of times he plays the people in region so much that it's like they do pick up on some of his patterns, but he's so good at like pulling out under pressure.
Yeah, for sure. Especially about like we've picked up on his patterns.
Right.
So him playing against people that are just like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. What's your name? Primid? Cool. Never met you
It's
before.
like, yeah, you're a
Wonder
Fox
what
player.
you do.
Okay, interesting, a Fox player, and then he's just like schmooving with the Fox.
Exactly. And Fox is someone, unless you immediately pick up on what he's doing, you're gonna lose those stocks fast, and you're just not gonna be able to
Yeah,
retaliate.
he can just overwhelm you
exactly
very quickly. So
And especially
yeah,
in a best of 3, you've got one match,
right.
and then you better hope you got it down by the second one.
And
If
we have
not,
some
you're
really
just
good Foxes in MDVA. You know, it's like you got to remember, it's like, you know, people are so used to seeing someone like ZD,
done.
right? It's like
Exactly.
ZD, maybe Name. You know, there's a couple other guys like, well, not Korean. Well, I guess
Is Korean on the PR?
no, he's not. No,
I could see. I don't think he'd win it.
Korean's also playing Joker right now. So
I could see Korean being up there. But yeah, just honestly. So
we have
Primid.
a lot of sleeper Foxes.
Yeah. So Primid, Name, Frostbite. Those are my 3 names of interest.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
definitely be in the top 8 in my opinion.
Yeah. I think so. I think if Frostbite really sticks to the Mario like you were talking about, I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it.
Regardless, even if you were to switch
Yeah,
back to Roy, I
because
feel like
Mario Crom would be a really good combo. Like I'm sure that like we've seen some players like Shamu who come out of like a little bit of sleeper MD coming out very very strong, and some of the past weeks Xanadu as well.
Oh,
It's
who's
like
that new Bowser player we have?
That's a Schniggly.
Yeah.
Schniggly maybe. I can
Schniggly-
see it because
yeah,
he obviously
he's-
didn't make a showing this past week, but we were seeing his
We've been
name
se-
often enough.
Yeah, we've been seeing him at top 8 as Xanadu, and he's not on the PR. And
That's
he's,
true because he's fresh in the region.
exactly, and he's Bowser.
Yeah, but I mean, we all know that Bowser still has its limits. I mean, obviously, like
Yeah, I think
the
I just
best
have.
Bowser in the world, Leon, is like, you know, has really good showings and everything, but it's still limited by what the character can do. There's enough hard counters to Bowser that it's
Yeah,
just like
I think
it's
Bowser
tough.
personally is just like a wall. Everyone
Yeah.
has that like one character that is just like
right. That's true. But you get a bad bracket, and it's like all of a sudden it's so much tougher for you.
all
I
of a
think-
sudden you facing 4 Bowsers in a row, and you're like,
Yeah.
I thought I beat the boss already.
Yeah, and then they're just like, no, this is my final form.
Yeah, and there's
Exactly.
increasingly more difficult Bowsers.
It's true.
Music intensifies.
God, I don't want to think about that. I have a Bowser problem myself, but it's just because, you know, Bowsers can punish people with a little bit worse fundamentals like myself. So
Yeah, especially just you do a slightly unsafe move.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already halfway through my F smash.
exactly.
Oh, you thought I couldn't armor through your follow up move?
Yeah. No, I don't even try to. Now that's what I've learned is like I don't even try to like mess around with the armored stuff. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. It's the side B that gets me.
Yeah,
It's always the command grab. Like I'm like a shield spammer, so it's like I just hold shield, charge fruit, hold shield, hide behind the hydrant, charge fruit,
Yep.
hold shield, all that good stuff. So it's very tough. But that's Smash. I think that's about it for Smash.
Okay. What else you got for me?
So, we talked a little bit last time on the Best of 5 about League Worlds.
Yes.
And League Worlds is still going on.
Yes.
Obviously, they have their finals, which are happening next Sunday, November 10th, at a crisp 7 a.m. Eastern time. It was
I'm
pretty
not
bad.
watching it.
Like literally, like semifinals were this morning at 6 a.m. And that was the last of the semifinals was 6 a.m. this morning.
I
So
don't even like League.
I
like
did not
that.
watch it, but I did catch up on what happened. So.
Okay, give it to me.
Yesterday's semis were against Fun Plus and Invictus.
Okay.
And Invictus Gaming, let me see if I can go back to where we were. So Invictus is China, right? So China, obviously they were the favored, right? They were the favored to do it. But Fun Plus, the other Chinese team, they were the ones who beat them out. And so Fun Plus actually, you know, doing a China versus China semifinal, a little bit tough. It was a 3-1. Invictus just had a big throw in one of the games
Really?
where literally, they run into the jungle and all of a sudden it's a 2v4 and Fun Plus just demolishes them and runs it through. And then they keep that was earlier on in the whole set. So they had a big play like that, and then all of a sudden it's like,
Tilt factor.
yeah, exactly, because you know how it is in those late game when the respawn timers are so high, like up to a minute long, and it's like that's all you need. Really, that's all you need is a whole minute to just run them down and clear it out.
You and your League timers.
It's true. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like, I mean, I never really liked how dependent on getting one big fight it was towards the end game, especially in these high level matches where it's like literally there's so much going on. It's so easy. You make like one person makes one mistake or two people make one mistake, and then the whole team falls apart because numbers are so important. You know, you can't 4v5 anymore. Like 4v5ing is so hard.
Yeah, I'm just thinking based off like Dota, but yeah, in terms like if you're going to even play down at all, you have to have your big carry. You gotta have that ADC there. You gotta have something. You gotta have something that is going to overpower that can possibly 2v1. But then even then, you have to make sure that those other three don't pop that 2v1er. So it's
All right.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
Mentally behind it.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Invictus throwing to another Chinese team, but I'm sure that they were probably, happy to see China making it to the finals anyway.
They just allied them. Just pass the rock. Hey, dog.
Right, exactly. Be like, all right,
Take
you guys got to carry the torch now. Like,
Exactly.
make us proud, make it worth it, all that good stuff. But that was a big one.
If you don't like basketball, pass the baton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's,
you like that
that's
form?
track. That's track.
Yeah, I said if you don't like basketball.
If you don't like basketball,
Yeah,
that's track. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just recognizing that I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I used to be a track coach, dog. I know.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting stuff.
Yeah. We can talk about that more later.
That's fine. So this morning, this is the big one. SKT, for the second year in a row, not making it to the finals of Worlds.
What? You mean South Korean Verizon didn't make it?
Exactly. They didn't have the Wi-Fi strong enough to do it. I mean, obviously.
What happened?
G2. So that's the thing. SKT is usually they used to be, the way it used to be in League was like SKT would be
Educate me.
a little bit behind and then they just come back, right? It's like, oh, we'd be a little bit behind and we're just going to come back. We're going to come back. It's no problem. No problem. This time it was reversed. So G2, the European team, was down almost the whole set. Like they were down. They had to come from behind almost every single game, and it was another 3-1. So SKT won the second game, but G2 was so clutch with able to. They didn't even. So I wrote down. They only got one Baron the entire set. In 4 games, they got one Baron, and they still win, which is unheard of, right? Because Baron is so important. SKT gets all of these Barons, and a lot of people were memeing on calling like it's the Baron debuff, right? It's the Baron debuff. It's like, oh, you got Baron? Oh, it's over for you, bro. Like, oh man, you messed up. It's like, how could they do it? So G2, they only get one Baron. They get huge team fights at the end of the game, and it's just like literally they get dogged on the whole for like 40 minutes, right? For 40 minutes into the set, they're having to like, just pull it back from the brink of death. They do in a team fight, and it's so important for them to do so because then, even in situations when they have 2 inhibitors down, they're like, doesn't matter, we're gonna win. Doesn't matter, we're gonna win. I mean, we're gonna pull it back. That is tough.
That is, in my personal opinion, such a top tier, high level mindset.
Yeah.
Like so many.
Not
of these
breaking under the pressure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So many of like playing anything in a low tier.
Yeah.
Or like casual tier listing.
Yeah.
It's just so painful because the moment that one person like, oh, you died 10 times, all right. Well, you can't fix it. I can't fix it. All right, cool. Just throw. It is what it is. Like,
right.
It's just that. Like, no, dog. Like, this game has built-in comeback factors. We just need to get one pick and then buff our stuff. We need to do this, and we just need to get this item, or we just need to do that. Like, it's once you know the game, the game gives you so many outs, despite you losing, despite you getting pressured early game. Like, there's so many ways and so many workarounds that the developers give you, but so many people are just like,
and that's
no, man. If it's not a pub stomp, there's no point even trying.
Right, and that's so indicative of how the league meta is right now. Because, in past years, it used to be like, okay, if you get all of the things that SKT had, it was almost assured that you were going to win.
Exactly.
It's like there's no way to assume that like, oh, just because G2, wasn't going to be good at this, they could still come back. It's so different now because none of those things matter. It's like vision play is so much less important.
You think so?
Yeah, exactly. Because the compositions are becoming more of like clown fiestas, right? They really are. Like they really are. They absolutely are, because you have to go for some unconventional stuff. And where Korea used to really shine was their vision play, and that was what won them games consistently. But now it seems as though the vision play it just it doesn't really matter as much. There's less focus on knowing where you are and more on just getting everyone together in a team fight, winning the team fight, and pushing forward.
Okay.
Like it's really interesting, very interesting stuff.
In that regard, to me, it sounds like you're trusting too much of your eyes. Like you watch any like lame movie, oh, don't trust your eyes, that type deal. But like, and in that regard, like you really can't. Just because you see that they're there doesn't mean it's like, oh, cool, free kills. Like
right. You can't get the picks that you normally could have got. It's like,
they're baiting you for sure. Like you see one of them in that area.
And
that
there's
is
lots of
not
mobile champions that can just jump walls, that can escape from those situations.
Exactly.
So it's like it doesn't matter as much anymore, because even if you get caught out, it's not over for you. It's
depending on your hero, yeah.
Depending on your hero, obviously Invictus definitely had that issue yesterday. But I mean, this morning SKT showed that the vision play that they used to have is still there, but it's just not getting the leverage that they need in these games.
For sure.
So it's really interesting. So 2-3-1s in semis, obviously. They used to, in the past, like SKT would be down like, be like 1-1, and SKT is like, okay, we win a game, we're gonna win. Like they might win the first game, we're gonna win the whole thing. But this time, G2 kept it going, and they won all their individual games from behind, but they kept the set strong for them. So it was literally like after the second game, they were like, okay, cool, we're just gonna reset, turn it back on, and they did, and they made it work in a really, really good way. So I don't know how it's going to go against Fun Plus. G2 versus Fun Plus is going to be really interesting, because Fun Plus is another team that does have a really good vision play. Okay. So we'll see if it truly is.
We'll see if that's their downfall.
A fluke, right? We'll see if it's a fluke, or if it's more indicative of
team
the meta now,
like
right? The meta.
Yeah.
Sure. So. Good stuff. But like I said, that is going to be the finals are next Sunday, November 10th. Make sure to catch the VOD after it's all over, because no one's going to be up at 7 a.m.
I'm not.
No, I won't be.
I'm
not on Sunday.
I refuse.
But other than that, moving out from league news, it does look like we had BlizzCon this past week.
Oh, wait, before that, okay, just shout out to the U.S. because we won Overwatch. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, of course. At BlizzCon, the U.S. after 3 years. 3 years of what they said, heartbreak, right? They said consistently heartbreak. They finally win, and they won over China, and that was a huge deal for them, because Overwatch is it's such a specific meta now.
Yeah,
it's like obviously both teams were running that Sigma Orisa.
I was about to say, I find it interesting that we find that. I mean, as far as I go, Overwatch has not been part of my day-to-day or like week-to-week, even month-to-month interest. And then the one time I ended up helping with a tournament that weekend, it's like, oh, yeah, now Overwatch stuff is happening. I'm like, oh, cool. And then it's like US won. It's like, huh.
All right. That's actually really cool. Yeah, I mean, good for them. They deserved it, because I was watching a little bit towards the end of the VOD, just to see like the big team fights and everything. Obviously, like the Doomfist making a huge plays.
Surprise!
Yeah. But what can you say? It's like they know the meta. The meta is pretty set in stone. They don't deviate too much from it. It's not like League, where you can switch up comps a lot. But I mean, League also has like 140 characters that you can afford to do so.
142. It's either 142 or 144.
Something like that. A lot. It's a lot, and Overwatch has become more stagnant, I guess you could say.
Not anymore with Overwatch 2.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that too. But I mean, obviously it appears as though in the rest of BlizzCon we had lots of interesting takes, lots of interesting stuff.
Will they survive? That's really all I want to know. Is this enough? That's all I really want to know.
Is Overwatch 2 enough? Is Diablo 4 enough?
I want to know, is it enough to pull them back out of their hole?
No. No, I don't think so. And it's because people are so, they've caught on. People have caught on. Yeah, people are people are always saying like, "Oh, having some PR issues, just announced 2 games that are not even close to being done. Just in the very, very early developmental stages. Just throw them out." Yeah. Like literally, they asked Kaplan. So when's Overwatch 2 coming out? He's like, I have no idea. They released the teaser. There's a whole bunch of like stuff that people are just like, are you kidding me? This is so tone deaf. Like, like the comment, like what was it? The subtitle from Lucio, which was like, what? It's like, you can't, this isn't the Overwatch I remember. You can't just kowtow to the politicians and everything. And I was like, wow, like the irony of it all. Like everyone is spotting the irony instantly. Like it's just like people.
Do we at least have a release date for Diablo 4?
No, they also have no idea when that's coming out either.
What do they know? Tell
Right.
me what they know.
They don't know anything, right? All they know is that they messed up and they have to pull it back somehow. And
Well,
this is not the way to do it.
Okay.
It's not.
I know
It's not the way to do
I
it.
know that they're feeling that pressure. I know they need to pull it back. But BlizzCon was regardless. BlizzCon was gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Why are they giving me a half-baked convention?
Well, because I don't know what they were gonna do other than announce this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, this is, I don't know if all of these things, like if they really just pushed it hard in the last month or
What
so.
about the WoW expansion? Release date?
Well, they're still in they're still in the old WoW, the current retail WoW expansion. That's not.
Yeah.
They released a new raid, right? That's the thing.
Oh,
It's like
is that?
yeah.
I thought it was the next expansion for the.
As far as I don't think they've released anything about the new expansion, as far as I know. They just talked about the new raid and everything.
What was the? I don't even know what it's called. I saw that. Someone showed me the words English trailer for it. That's
the trailer for
She ripped the mask off the Lich King.
Lich King's been dead for a while.
Oh, she ripped the mask off someone.
Yeah, so it was the
don't play this
jailer, right?
game,
They
I'm
call him
sorry.
the jailer, right? The jailer or
Okay.
whatever. And
Okay.
Sylvanas is like this expansion's sort of villain, sort of like I guess you could compare her to like Garrosh, right? So Garrosh in Mists of
I
Pandaria
know
was
exactly
the bad
what you're
guy,
talking about.
right? So Alex, so let me
I
break
get-
it down a little bit.
I get
I'll
bad
break it
guys.
down a little bit more. So
all right, give it to me.
literally, like in the Horde, right? The Horde always gets shafted like this, right? It's like there was one time where the Alliance, one of their main leaders, turned evil.
Okay.
Right. There was one time, and then there was that was about it. The Horde has had this happen like 4 times now. Like they've had the War Chief switch like mantles like 10 times now. Like it was Thrall, and then Thrall gave it to Garrosh Hellscream. Garrosh Hellscream gets like really power hungry. Basically falls victim to like the influence of like this old eldritch god, and like goes crazy, basically mad with power. Holds himself up in Orgrimmar. You have to siege Orgrimmar as the Horde, as the Horde or the Alliance, and you have to like go in and just defeat all the evil orcs that have taken over. Garrosh says that the Horde is orc only now, and like he doesn't have any room for anyone else. You have to fight that, and it's like that's bad.
Lame.
Right, and then of course like then he goes back in time because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to like reset the Horde, go back and like and I don't know. It was just like literally that was what Warlords of Draenor was.
Okay, so what I'm understanding is that there is no fixing the Horde.
There is fixing the Horde. That is the thing. There are enough players in the Horde that have wanted to fix the Horde, but Sylvanas killed one of them, right? So that's a big issue. So Sylvanas, the undead leader, she was basically just like, going the same route as Garrosh Hellscream. Like, oh, influence of the old god, goes crazy, mad with power, takes over the Horde, holds up in her capital city, and now you have to do something about it.
Plot twist.
Yeah, plot
Psych,
twist again.
It's the same thing.
It really is, and I mean you're not wrong. Like this is why I don't play retail anymore, right? It's like this is why I'm sticking with the classic. I don't play retail. I haven't played retail for like 4 expansions. Like I haven't played retail since like 2015 at the latest, probably the 14.
Okay.
So it's been
2020.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, and I didn't really like. Obviously, everyone hates a lot of things about retail right now. Just like the inflation, the money, like the gold inflation. It's crazy. Like I know people who have like 21 million gold.
Mm-hmm.
21 million.
Yes.
That's a lot of gold.
Yes.
And of course, you can use that to buy your own subscription. Sort of like how if you know old school RuneScape has bonds where you can pay in-game money to buy a bond that will give you like a week of membership.
That's solid.
Yeah, it's actually really cool, but a lot of people don't like it because then it creates this sort of like economy a lot of people are not happy with.
Yeah,
which I agree with.
It creates an in-game economy that translates to the real world, which is kind of weird. But
Right, it's like, WoW has always been about like no gold selling, no gold selling, but it's like this is like the workaround. Right? It's like that sort of the fine, like the gray area, the fine line, and everything. So pretty tough. I don't know. It's just like retail WoW is having their own stuff. I like thinking about like the old gods. Like the old gods were really cool because that's been in WoW since the very beginning. Like in classic WoW, one of the final raids was Ahn'Qiraj, and Ahn'Qiraj you fight Cthulhu, and Cthulhu is like this big eyeball, a huge eyeball.
Sounds like knockoff Cthulhu.
A little bit. Right, a little bit, right? It's like an old god. He has like tentacles and everything.
Yeah, that sounds
right.
like
It's
Cthulhu.
like turns you mad if you look at him too much. Well, no, that's not. No, Yogg-Saron is the one who turns you mad, and that was in Wrath of the Lich King. So they have every couple of expansions they bring in the old gods and everything, and this is the first time that they say that the old god has been like fully unleashed. Like we've always been fighting like echoes of the old gods or whatever. Cthulhu wasn't really in his
exactly
he's imprisoned and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but this is the first time that this old god is like truly all powerful in his true form, wreaking havoc.
Okay.
I don't know. I get it, but it's like I think they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit.
So
That's my opinion.
BlizzCon gave us a raid.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The raid was teased before BlizzCon. They just went more into it.
Okay. So they went in depth on the raid.
Yeah.
They gave us the trailer for Overwatch 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave us
a teaser for Diablo 4.
Did they give us anything else?
Not that I've heard of. Not a lot of people have been talking about anything else. And this is kind of like, again, them.
That's an entire convention.
Right. That's a whole convention, right? It's like
for 3 things.
And an Overwatch tournament. That's it. And so Blizzard kind of
what? That is yo, bro, what?
Yeah,
that is garbage. If I went to a whole con, that's in the same place every year. So if I don't live in that state, I then have to fly there.
Yep.
To get a ticket.
Yep. Yep. Go all the way to California, get nothing. Yeah, it's true. And I mean,
that's trash, dog.
Welcome to the new Blizzard. This is how it happens.
I didn't realize Steam was so good.
Yeah, well, Valve gonna get some more love after this one, as if they needed more. But
no, they won't. Not with the way that Riot's been acting.
What, Valve or Riot?
Right. I'm saying Blizzard screwed the pooch. I feel like Valve is always just kind of like that underlying undertone of like, whenever you get upset with anything, you can always come to us. But they never really like do. I feel like they don't do any like big campaigns.
No, you're right.
So they don't have conventions. They're just kind of like, hey, we're doing a thing, and like if you're on board, you're on board. If not, we're not gonna try and like sell it to you. Like,
right.
Just like come if you want.
Right, because they're so tapped into their community the whole time. It's
exactly.
Like,
Like I didn't realize it until I started playing these other games that like they really just like they don't care about that. I feel like they don't care about the advertisement. They don't care about whether. I mean, yes, obviously they care about sales and stuff, but at the end of the day, they're like,
they know that's going to come naturally.
Exactly.
Right? They make the game will be bought, or the game
won't be bought.
Has things in it that will be bought.
Exactly. And if it isn't bought, there's something wrong with the game,
right,
in which they will go back and fix. They have the teams that do that. So like
exactly, they don't push the narrative too much.
Exactly. They let it build on its own. They are. It definitely seems like they're very word of mouth. Like if we make something good, it'll spread.
Yeah, they say the work speaks for itself.
Exactly.
And Blizzard doesn't have that mentality.
Not
Blizzard feels right now that they are in a hole, which they are. You know, it's like after the whole Hong Kong thing. Now they have an announcer at a Q&A who is himself pro Hong Kong, because they know that they want to throw that a bone, try to fix that mess.
Yeah.
And then you have. Even though the host is pro Hong Kong, you have all these other people standing in line waiting for the Q&A. Don't even have a question, just say free Hong Kong and walk away. It was pretty interesting. Very awkward stuff, but the host played off very well because obviously he agrees with the message. He had a button on that was like free Hong Kong or whatever. It was like it was very interesting, but the devs at Blizzard can't say anything now. They're so like
They're so on their heels.
trapped.
Yeah, for sure.
They're so trapped. They're sitting here and they're just like, we're waiting for questions about the actual game, and people are making it about this controversy that we ourselves didn't have anything to do with.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's all about someone else, right? Someone else who's the higher up, who's making those larger, big picture decisions, who are the ones creating the censorship, who are the ones deciding whether or not people are able to speak their mind and everything. It just seems like a lot of people are blaming the entirety of Blizzard, and it's so difficult because it's like it really is just a handful of people making these decisions, and
which is super unfortunate. At the end of the day, we just want to play games.
Yeah, we just want to play. We just want to play a good game.
Exactly.
And we don't want to be like teased this 10% this game that's 10% done.
Exactly.
Right? It's like I don't want to see what's going on in Overwatch 2 because first of all, you haven't even done anything with Overwatch 1. Whereas like they haven't really even done anything with that in the first place, and now they feel that they're pushed to come out with something, and that game is going to be rushed. That Diablo 4 is going to be rushed.
Oh, have you not heard? Okay, so what I do know about Overwatch 2 is that it is free if you have Overwatch 1, right? The PvP version.
Okay.
The PvP asset of it is free if you have Overwatch 1.
Okay.
To access the full game, so there's going to be a heroes mode apparently and some other
some
mode.
PvE stuff.
Sounds like it. Or it sounds like there's an actual like campaign possibly in this game.
Okay.
To access that, you have to buy Overwatch 2, and I think to get like full cosmetic blah blah blahs.
Okay.
You have to purchase Overwatch 2, but you can.
Seems like Fortnite.
One thing that I do like is that you get the Fortnite, that in and of itself. I can explain that a little bit more later, but it seems like they're at least letting you get like a test run before you're like, let me throw all this money into it. Because I feel like with Overwatch, even today, you can't get the standard version. You have to get all these versions that equate to $60.
Yeah, you have to get the legendary edition.
You're like, I'm not trying. I want to play the game, but I don't want to pay for $60. Right. Especially after the
game.
Give
me $20, I'll pay the game. I'll play the game.
Exactly. Give me the standard edition. You can't find that.
You're right.
And then Fortnite was slightly different. Let's not forget where Fortnite started. So it wasn't even about the PvP. It was always about PvE.
That's right, and you had to pay for that version, but the PvP was the part that was free.
Yeah, exactly. And then out of nowhere, they're just like, "Oh, this is great. The kids love it."
Yeah, I mean, the PvP really was the one that took off. PvP was the big one, and they were like, "Okay, cool. Well, they recognized that."
And it was honestly a sleeper. I want to say for like the first like 2, 3, maybe even 4 months. You heard nothing about it. The PvP, like no one played it, and then all of a sudden it was like Fortnite. You're like, yeah, it's been out, dog. What do you mean? Fortnite's good.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, you're right. I remember hearing about Fortnite just as it came out. I had some friends who were getting into it, and they really liked the PvE version, and they were like, yeah, I mean, it's got a PvP version that's free, but no one really plays it. And I was like, all right.
Yeah,
then after a month, like it was like the narrative changed.
That's exactly how it was explained to me. Like my buddy was like, "Yeah, man, there's this cool PvE part.
Yeah, you have these setups and you traps and everything, and like you
got to
defend
against these zombies, and you got to hold this point, and you got to hold that point, and then you earn a certain amount of points." So my buddy was like playing it week by week to earn those achievements,
right?
In the PvE, but then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, yo, dog, have you played PvP? That's all there is." So
yeah,
it's kind of cool that they and then they pimped out the PvP portion and
sure did
made a ridiculous amount of money, but
I mean a lot of that's going back into prize pools too.
Yeah, that is one thing that I'll give them, that they are trying to make it about the players.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like that's still pennies compared to how much they actually made
so much money.
I mean, it has the money of a mobile game with all the whales, but also like just the numbers of a truly powerful titan of gaming. And of course, like,
insane.
And we can talk about like the age range of the players is it's very much lower on average than like other competitive games.
Yeah.
You have like 16-year-old players who are winning this kind of stuff and winning
$1 million,
right? Winning all these millions of dollars.
I hope they have a good advisor.
Yeah, you better hope so. That's like winning the lottery.
Legitimately, they could retire with that.
Yeah.
They're just like,
at
16.
16 retired, not even out of high school yet.
Right.
But I mean, that's crazy.
Are you going to college? No, Mom. I'm playing Fortnite.
And she'll be like, well, you did win $1.5 million, so keep at it.
Yeah.
You keep at it, son.
You don't even have to do that. Like, if they, man, I mean, that's a different thing with investing. But like, if you just did that right, one tournament, one super big pot tournament, We're done.
Right.
You're
But then
done.
they also had that Fortnite. Well, I want to say Fortnite too, but it's not. Right. The Fortnite when they canceled the game when they were like the blackout, the Fortnite,
the black
the
hole,
blackout.
And then, is it volume 2 or chapter 2?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about though. Oh man.
Yeah, and people were freaking out. People thought the game was over. People thought it was like, oh wow, what happened? Like it was only for a day, but I remember the fallout from that was absolutely crazy.
So I saw like 2 funny things.
Okay.
The 2 funny things and then one thing that made me salty. So, one funny thing is all the streamers.
Yeah,
People were literally just streaming a black screen.
they were.
Fortnite had their own live stream at the time, and it was just a black screen. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Right, and people were doing like a reaction to the thing.
Yeah,
like
to a black hole.
waiting for something to happen, like for 12 hours.
Yeah, insane amounts of time. Number 2, it was down for like 3 days, I think, something like that.
Something like that. It was less than 3, I think.
It was funny to me because I think the kids were out of school that day.
That's right. That's right. Like, yeah, they were all out of school, and they're like, "What am I supposed to do with my time?"
Yeah, so it was like, someone tweeted like, "I just saw a kid outside on a bike because Fortnite's shut down. What did you do to my society?"
What have you done? Now we live in a society again.
Yeah, but then the last thing is me being a salty streamer, still trying to work my way up to the high life of streaming, and then it's like me with my 6 streamers, and then there's a dude with like 120,000 people watching a black
screen.
and I'm just like,
That's right. That's right.
what am I doing so wrong that I can't compete with a black screen?
I don't know. Like you're actually playing a game, and they're not playing a game.
They're talking about a black
It's
hole.
like you might as well just call that a variety stream right there. Just
Right.
chatting.
And just chatting.
Just chatting.
Just chatting.
Just chatting about Fortnite, and people will be like, "Oh, you're just chatting about Fortnite though? Oh, about Fortnite. Oh, I'm interested." And then you're like, "Hey, I'm over here like playing some Smash, playing some Tekken. Anybody interested?" And you get like 10 viewers.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like, all right, feels bad.
That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, and it is like that. It's so interesting to see like what games take off like that. And I don't even know what made Fortnite so popular amongst like younger people. I don't know if it's gameplay, if it's like a low skill floor. I don't know what
It's
it is.
definitely not a low skill floor.
Because it's still
Once
hard.
you get to the competitive version.
Yeah, once you get competitive, it's hard.
Yeah, it's the building and the shooting. I think it's the aspect of it has. So kids love Minecraft, right?
That is true. They like building stuff.
Yeah. So you give them, and then you have the kids that play Call of Duty. So you give them a platform that they can convene on.
Right. Yeah. Right. So it's like it's a shooter, but also a building.
Yeah.
Thing.
So
Yeah,
and then
it's
they,
a little cartoony.
Yeah, and then so it has the aspect of visuals that's pleasing them.
Yeah.
It combines the creativity of building
Right.
with
It's on a lot of platforms. It's free.
with the competitiveness of first-person shooter.
Right.
And then later on, they give them an entire creative mode. So you give them custom maps. You give them races. You give them, and you essentially open up the genre from just a shooter to variety.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then you finally give them tournaments. So as much as I don't particularly care for Fortnite, they did it right.
They had a great formula.
Yeah, they did it right.
Yeah. They absolutely played the game super well.
Yeah.
Like they definitely set them up for a true success story. And I mean, I kind of wish other games would take that and
You can't pay him enough to do that.
I mean, it's true. You're right.
Yeah, but I mean, as much as I don't like it, like they did it right.
They make it work.
Yeah.
Right. They made it work, and you can't fault them for that. You gotta respect the grind. So
All right, so
I do respect it.
So let's quick recap. So we hit the brackets. BlizzCon sucked.
BlizzCon did suck.
Is that unanimous?
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree.
All right, so BlizzCon, waste of time.
League Worlds still happening. Make sure to tune in for the finals if you'd like.
So EU versus China.
EU versus China.
All right, and we won Overwatch.
We did win the Overwatch Cup. It was very nice stuff. It's super important for US to win something these days.
Hey man, we're in VA, so we just got that championship, right?
Yeah, well, that is true. That's true. But that's
Hey, VA feel like we just take
VA
all
versus
the dubs.
Texas, right? So it's like in terms of international appeal, it's like the United States has always been a little bit tougher, but you gotta work on that
for sure.
Oh well.
And then what else? And then we have the Arcadian. So
right. Remember, just a quick reminder: November 30th is the Arcadian for Smash.
Yep.
Add Xanadu. Come out if you're not PR'd. If you want to do some pro-am doubles, might make sure you find a partner real quick.
Come see us
Come see us.
if we go.
I don't know if I'll go.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. It's a Saturday.
You got work.
Maybe.
That's fair.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Saturdays are always tough, and that's why Smash tournaments on Saturdays are kind of like harder for some people to go to. We see that on monthlies as well. So
Yeah.
but anyway,
I've never been to Xanadu, honestly. So
yeah,
I
you should
really,
go sometime.
I might go to the Arcadian.
You might as well.
Yeah.
And we'll hope to see all of y'all out there. Big thanks to everyone who watched. If you have any questions or anything, hit us up on Twitter. If you have anything else to say, like,
What's your tag?
oh, I'm SSB_Nerf. You can find me there.
All right, I'm King_Fuyoshi. Yeah, we're more than welcome to answer any questions you've got, and these VODs will be changed into PDFs, or not PDFs, whatever the thing is,
Whatever.
for listening purposes.
Yeah.
But that is it. So I'm
Thanks
King
for joining
Fuyoshi,
us. Yeah, I'm Nerf. Thanks for joining us on the Best of 5.
and you guys have a good day.